Hi.
Hi, we're the Blockheads and
welcome to Radio Addict TV.
Or lease from in the morning.
So, what are your birth names?
Birth name's Derek.
Yeah?
I just got one.
Charles,
And Charles.
Jeremy,
And where were you born?
Fulham.
Fulham. And...
Stanmore, Middlesex.
Okay. And so what was the first album you bought?
First album?
Yeah.
I think the first album was John Mayall's Blues Breakers live at Kluge's Cleek.
Okay. And yourself, Chaz?
Oh God, I think it was Cliff Richard and the Shadows or something like that.
You don't have to feel any shame.
Well, maybe Apache or something like that.
Okay, that is a damn good record, so it's alright.
Right.
And what's your favourite album?
Bob Dylan, Bringing It All Back Home.
Yeah. Classic.
Talking Book, Stevie
Yeah?
Wonder.
An amazing record.
Well, I don't know.
again.
I just picked one out. This,
Really?
Well, I
Talking
think so.
Book.
It's a great album.
What about Songs of the Key of Life?
Well, that wasn't my music of my mind. I would say is
With
even,
the talk box all the way
yeah,
through.
well,
That
with
is just
Jeff
amazing.
Beck and some great moments.
That is genius.
Any Stevie album, really, isn't
Yeah,
it?
just all seminal. Okay, so I'm going to ask some questions now. So it's when I say Kanye West, you say what?
I don't know, I'm speechless.
And yourself?
A showman.
Yeah. Okay, and when I say David Cameron, you say
Pork sausages.
and yourself?
Conservative. Very conservative.
Very conservative. So, what's your worst habit?
I've got a few.
Okay. Care to list?
No, maybe I smoke too much dope.
Yeah?
You know.
Chaz?
Finding faces in like objects all around us, what it could be a bolt on a door, right? And it's got two screws in it, and they look like eyes to me, and I have to photograph it, and
Yeah, and that's your worst habit.
It's one of them.
Worst
One
habit.
of them.
Okay, so beer or spirit?
Yeah.
Chaz?
Beer.
Yeah. John or Paul?
John.
John, for both of you. Okay, good answer. Correct answer. Worst job you've ever had?
Ooh.
And you can't say this.
Ooh. Well, I've never really had. Well, I've had a job. It was a good one,
Yeah.
I've never really. I only had one job. I worked for myself, right?
Yeah.
I was in special effects game,
And
I never had a boss, so I never
that
had a
is
job.
good. And yourself, you've been a musician since you were a young man, so...
Yeah. My worst job was working in the carpet department of Harrods in a sale period.
That doesn't sound like a bad job.
No, but it was. 'Cause my mathematics is hopeless, and they would just change over to metric at the time. And customers would come up to me and say, "Listen, we've got to run this size, and there's a carpet here which is this size." And I wouldn't. So I'll be back in a moment, and so I'd try and get another assistant to help. Excuse me, and they would say, "I'm sorry, I'm dealing with another customer." It was horrendous. So I'd be taking ages to find out a simple calculation, and then they're asking another question. I'll be back in a moment. I was not suited to this job.
I've also worked in Harrods, and there was a certain prestige person who needs to work in Harrods, and I did not fall into it. Definitely didn't fall into it.
You didn't come up to par.
It was not up to scratch at all. So, I'm going to start with probably the hardest question. Is just what's the difference now in playing without Ian Dury? Mainly to Chaz.
Oh, well, we've been so long now without Ian that it's totally natural. It's not a conundrum anymore. I think the first time we did a gig, I remember we did it at the what's the one in Camden Town, Dingwalls.
Yeah.
And I was nervous then because it was our first gig without Ian, but the audience just embraced us, and from that moment on, I thought, yeah, you know what, we carry on. Ian that's what he would have wanted, you know, like
Naturally.
his spirits within us. With us, we play so many of the songs that he wrote.
Yeah.
That in a way, his energy has changed. He's here.
Yeah,
in spirit.
He's
you know.
always going to be with
and
the
Del,
Blockheads,
I
isn't
mean,
he?
like Del, he's omnipresent. You know, like get great compliments about what he's doing, and you know, like we've just carried on, haven't we, John? Del. Yeah, I should know.
Yeah.
Shouldn't I?
The Blockheads are sort of a family, you know. When Ian was alive, he took he had to really depend and trust on people to keep everything in the family.
Yeah.
So if you was a part of the group, then it was a sort of an inner sanctum, really, and that's how the band functioned. Ian, you know, was sort of quite private, and you know, he was the gang leader.
Yeah.
So, and since he's been gone, that family spirit still stayed with the
Still
band.
there.
You know, Ian's kids still come to the gigs. We still, you know, Ian's missus,
How good is that to hear? It's
and
like-
we're all one big happy family. You know?
that is excellent to
Great
hear.
songs.
So, with your distinctively funky sound, how well did you think this would work in the like punky new wave climate that you were starting off in?
Sorry, just good. Carry on. Chat amongst yourselves.
So,
What?
so
Oh, sorry.
you kind of adopted
Yeah.
a funky sound,
Yeah.
which perhaps wouldn't have been appropriated by the punks of the era that you were starting off in, but the new wave people, they were definitely buying into it. How well did you think it would work?
Well, the thing is, because our songs are so narrative driven,
Yeah.
they come from the lyric. They're much as coming from the rhythms as are the lyric.
Yeah.
It was never an issue with us, you know, like, so we could cross over genres quite comfortably because we had a very strong front end, you know,
Yeah.
to what we were doing. And I think in a way it's the media that have created boundaries between genres, because
Exactly.
you look
Yeah.
at
It's all
someone's record
fluid.
collection,
Yeah.
people don't go, no, I only listen to this or I only listen to that. So it's natural actually to cross-fertilise,
Yeah.
and I think England's a great place, you know,
Yeah.
for this, and we're just doing that, I suppose.
So, how did you do it? How did you produce the sound that you always had? Was it the keys? Was it the guitar? Was it the drums? Or was it a combination of everything together, and which epitomised the Blockhead sound?
I think it's really down to the personalities.
Yeah.
You know, you get to know each other's personality, and you write for that.
Yeah.
You know, and try and gain experience from previous compositions and how you've been arranging them for live, and think about what's worked, you know, how they've developed, and so you try to pick it up from there rather than you've just written the song in the room
Yeah.
and not really projected any further than that. So knowing how we like to stretch out, I try to recognise that when we record it, even though we might not have actually performed it lots. And yes, the songs will evolve naturally over the
Yeah.
years. I mean, we've been playing for 35 years.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, the way we play, for example, Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll now
It's a lot.
is different. Or
Yeah.
even if I Was With a Woman, it has evolved over years. It stretches, it finds its own place, and that will happen. So, yeah, I hope that's answered your question.
It has. Don't worry.
And a mixture of sophistication and rough and ready.
Yeah.
You know, nothing's, you know, it's the music is superbly polished and yet free, and the vocals are, you know, pretty rough and ready,
Yeah.
because it doesn't require singing, a little bit of shouting and hollering,
Yeah.
and a little bit of, you know, being in tune, of course.
Yeah, that follows on to, like, nowadays you provide a slick stage performance. It's more than can be said for a lot of your contemporaries. And does this come with, like, to pardon, for want of a better word, your veterancy? Or have you always thought you've been a cut above the rest in, like, how slick you've been? You've always been slick, quality musicians.
Well, Chaz probably, yeah, I'll better answer this one, because otherwise he'd be viewed to be blowing his own trumpet.
No, don't worry.
But the Blockheads were always a better band than most other bands because of their fine musicianship. They're players. You know, they're players and performers. They really know what they're doing when they're on their own particular brand of instrument. Quality musicians. And, you know, as you know, you can't replace quality.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you. Well, that's great to hear. You know, I'm just a working musician who, you know, like tries to, I don't know, just enjoy the moment, really. This is what's great, because this is the perfect band, really. Because being a writer, and I'm sure a lot of people today, they sit in front of a computer, they write with a computer.
Yeah.
And it's it can be a lonely experience. As we all know, it's great, but it's lonely, right? And it's very controlled as well. When you play live, it's the opposite. It's happening in the moment. As Dell's just said, it's rough and it's ready. Anything can, you know. But you have a form, which are the songs, which allow you to do that. You know, just to kind of be spontaneous, and it's wonderful every night. We've never been a caricature of ourselves. We never just give. I mean, for some reason, and I don't really know. It must be the guys and people who enjoy what they're doing, because it is 100% every night.
So small venues like this, the Brook in Southampton, do you like playing them? Do you like playing the smaller venues?
Yeah. Norman says that that's what he's learned how to play the guitar, bass so superbly. You know, to come out and show people what he can do. And all that practice is for an hour and a half every. It's not for himself sitting in his bedroom indulging himself.
Yeah.
It's for being out for an hour and a half. That's the only little window you get to play. So, you know, if that's only once every 3 weeks, then it's not happening. You know.
That's Norman.
Right?
Nosferatu, your
bassist.
So hence he plays a lot of small plays. He likes playing little.
And you get close to
you
get close to your fan base, and
rather than just doing one gig,
much more intimate. Sitting down venues are really difficult, because,
especially with the genre that you play.
Yeah,
with the music that you play.
We do the stables up at Milton Keynes, and it's a great venue, but it's a little bit, you know, when you're sitting there playing, everybody's sitting there and they're really enjoying the music, but that little bit of magic isn't released. That, you know, you need to cross over.
So, with the closure of thousands of these small venues up and down the country, where does this leave touring bands like yourselves? You'll always be playing, I know that for sure.
Well, I think because the band is a good band, and you get, where else could you go and see a band of this quality for 20 quid?
Yeah, exactly.
So
internationally famous, seminal band.
And also you're getting value for money. You know, the Spandau Ballets go out for fucking £80 a ticket, and all that sort of stuff. Well, you know, who's going to go and see that on a regular basis?
Especially like young people. Like, I can imagine playing venues like this, you're getting a younger audience, especially.
Young audiences go away flabbergasted.
Yeah.
You know, the old man drags them along or whatever, you know, absolutely flabbergasted. We're fans everywhere we go.
So, so this audience, which is, I can assume it's definitely gotten younger, and do you think that's because of not only yourselves, but the surge of recent new wave bands touring again, like Squeeze, Elvis Costello's doing a massive tour? Do you think that's something to help with? Other bands of your contemporary?
Stealing our thunder, aren't they?
Not stealing your thunder. They can never do that. They can never do that.
No, they ought to stick to their album halls, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they're not making any money selling albums anymore, because no one buys anything.
No.
So they go out and gig. So, yes, you're right, the gig calendar's full up with heritage bands, but at least, you know, you see good musicians playing. It's not like the modern young, you know, the very youngish sort of X Factor type, Ollie Marses and stuff like that, Robbie Williams sort of things. Our generation wouldn't dig that.
It's not like that.
Back in my day, I would think that those sort of acts are Eurovision or Opportunity Knocks. It wasn't considered to be that sort of stuff. Wasn't considered to be music.
You guys,
but they sold that to the youngsters now. They started with the Spice Girls and various things like that, and then they've, you know.
Well, you guys are on a pedestal, obviously, but so where do you stand on recording new original material? And is there a backlog of Ian's work that that you'd want to record?
Well, we excuse me. Del and I write a lot together.
Yeah.
And we're very critical about what we write. So not all of it makes it onto recordings. How many albums we've made since Ian's passed away?
We've done three.
We've done three albums.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean.
And we've got another one in the pipeline.
Yeah, I mean, regarding the backlog, I mean, we've really looked into it. We've done as much as we can, I think, with the back catalogue. There might be the odd song that we wrote. I mean, Something's Gonna Happen in the Winter was a song we wrote, Ian and I, which was a great song. And every now and again, Norman says, "Oh, do you remember that song?" We start jamming on it. Other than these very odd things, really, it's about what Del and I are writing now, because we still perform so much. The back catalogue's massive. If anything, really, we should be performing more of it. But now and again, we sort of pull out the odd song from, that we don't necessarily do in our current set. We probably, what do we do in our current set? Something about 12, maybe about 16 songs. But, well, I mean, Ian and I wrote a lot more, and he wrote with other people as well. So, like, for example, Spasticus Autisticus.
Yeah.
Now, it's contentious. Should we be doing
now?
it or
Yeah.
not? But, I mean, the day William Shakespeare didn't act in his own plays, you know what I mean?
Still a damn good song.
That was the first tribute act, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it's still a great song. It was so... and Waiting for Your Taxi. I mean, Sink My Boats. These, like... I don't know how familiar you are with our back catalogue.
Yeah, no.
But,
they're all songs that you want to give to an audience.
There's so many good songs, but there's so much in us as well. Yeah. And I'm loving where we're at right now. I mean, I think what we're doing. We wrote a song last week, for example, that we're excited about, and I think you have to have one on the go, one on the stove.
To keep it.
I mean, just life is like that. If you've got nothing to look forward to, no aim, it's a bit sort of aimless, isn't it? And I suppose.
And let's face it, a lot of even quite popular bands only have to save their three best songs till last.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got every one of ours is
we know that
our best song.
Yeah.
And
you've worked with a lot of the biggest names in pop culture, especially with the first album you brought out after Ian's absence. So, what was it like working with these names? So, like, for example, Paul McCartney.
That was fun.
Yeah.
McIntyre bought fish and chips and out of these children's studios.
How very scouts of him.
Yeah.
And John Leckie, he done our first album. He was fantastic, wasn't he, Chaz?
John Leckie, yeah, brilliant.
And he
got us off to a flying start. Really, we didn't have a great. Everybody had a few songs that they had in there, so we worked them up and just got it off the ground just by banging that out.
And you've worked with Wilco as well, haven't you, Wilco Johnson? Is that correct?
Yeah.
So, like, just playing with these big names, does that bring? I can imagine that just brings an extra flavour into the Blockheads sound.
Yeah. Tonight, for argument's sake, we got Nathan. King.
Nathan King
from just down the
Nathan
road here.
King.
It's level 2.
Okay.
He's Mark's brother. He's standing in for Norman tonight. So we have people are very keen to play if we need a depth.
Yeah.
We had Guy Pratt playing a little while ago.
I can imagine a lot of people.
Can you see it?
No,
Can you see anything?
Special camera. Keep going to infrared.
So, in recent years, what do you think your greatest achievement is?
Well, to keep going,
being alive,
playing.
Exactly.
Playing.
Yeah.
That's as good as answer as any.
I mean, basically, as they say, years ago we used to take drugs for fun. Now we take drugs to stay alive.
So this is my final question. So, whilst you're touring, now what you've answered all these questions, I think I might know the answer, but it's when you're touring, do you look forward to going home? Do you look forward to going back into a studio? Or do you enjoy it while it's happening and then think about the future later?
Well, it's great when you're doing it. You look forward to going home, but after you've been at home for a couple of days or a week or so, and you've caught up with all your little jobs and chores, then you think, because it's going out with the boys. It's like going to a football with your mates. We travel in a van pretty much. Together. We've got a nice. It's not a touring bus. It's just a splitting van with some seats in, but. We go out, we enjoy it, going out together for the crack. You know what blokes are like when they're out on the, everything's a laugh. We laugh a lot.
And that's how you keep your sound so fresh, I bet.
Yes.
It is fresh and it has not aged one day. Like when I listen to your stuff now, you just hear that energy it's been infamous with you guys.
Yeah, well, Ian's, it's quite a high benchmark.
Yeah.
And once you've been to those dizzying heights, you can't really compromise.
No.
You've got to do something that's worthy, and that's why Chaz and I write a lot of songs, and we try to pick the worthy ones. And we've had some great artists do our covers. We had Peter Blake and Sarah Lucas do our last two covers.
The great pop artists.
The great pop artists. So we've got some good mates.
Well, gentlemen, you're more than worthy, and it's been amazing talking to you.
Thank you very much, Harry.
I hope you have a great night. I'll be there at the gig.
Cheers, Harry.
Right, well
See
done.
you later.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you very much.